The 2019 Passetoutgrain. This is a lovely wine for many reasons. So this is a 50-50 blend of Gamay and Pinot Noir, which makes it a little bit richer than all the other wines that we've tasted, but there's still a lovely freshness to it. So this wine is super versatile. You can chill it down, which means that you don't just have to drink red wine with meat. You can drink it with fish, which is why I decided to make a baked halibut dish. This has a lot of really bold flavors that you can get away with because the wine is a little bit bigger. So what I did is I lined a casserole dish with kale, and then I placed halibut chunks on top. And what happens is that the bottom of the kale prevents the halibut from sticking to the bottom of the pan, and the kale that's sticking out on the sides gets really nice and crispy. So you have a couple different textures of kale as you're eating this dish. The sauce is made with tomatoes, anchovies, garlic, onion, all the good stuff. And I also snuck in some dried ancho chilies. I really love pairing chilies with the bigger varieties of wine like Gamay. There's a lot of earthiness and fruitiness that comes from dried chilies that are maybe not so spicy. Ancho chilies, once you de-seed them and de-stem them, rehydrate them, you really lose a lot of that spiciness and you just get that pure earthy flavor. So that earthy flavor is gonna pair really, really, really well with this, especially if it's cooled down just a little bit. I also have some black olives in here, and again, that's to kind of play off that leathery flavor that sometimes you get out of your Pinot Noirs. I finished the dish with a little bit of fresh parsley. I encourage you throughout the fall and the winter when you're feeling a little bit down as all your vegetables are kind of gray and brown, to put fresh herbs on things. That's kind of how I brighten up my food and liven up my food. I also finished this dish with a little bit of fresh lemon zest, and again, that just really brightens everything up when you're cooking root vegetables, lots of braises, lots of really heavy flavors. Those are my two keys to lightening up your food, especially during the winter. There's also some beautiful chickpeas in here. So we've got chickpeas that are happening. That's gonna give you a little bit of starch. It's gonna soak up some of that sauce that's been baked into the halibut. My favorite part about this dish is that you can set this up the day before, a couple days before, and then pop it in the oven for 20 minutes while your guests are mingling around. You really don't have to work while your guests are here. You can actually enjoy their company, or just prepare this and know that you're gonna have a really great lazy Friday evening. I'm gonna scoop out a little portion for myself here and take a nice sip with the wine. I did forget to mention that I put some chorizo in here. I wanted to give it a little bit of some Spanish flair, since that is where I spent a lot of my time cooking. And again, that chorizo is going to pair really, really well with your wine. It is an optional ingredient. You don't need to add chorizo if you don't eat meat, but it is a really nice complement. Gives it a little bit more fattiness, a little bit more body to the dish. If you don't necessarily have access to halibut like we do here in the Pacific Northwest, another really great option for this dish is rockfish. You can also definitely use cod. I love black cod and I love ling cod. The butteriness of black cod would go really, really great with this dish. Ling cod to me has kind of the same texture as halibut, so I think that would be a very easy replacement if you can find it. If you can't find ancho chilies that are dried, a lot of different peppers like guajillo, anything that kind of has a smoky flavor to it is gonna work really, really well. But again, you just have to play around with the spice level and make sure that one, it's comfortable for you, and two, it doesn't overpower the wine. Usually I do steer away from spicy things when I am pairing with wine, but it doesn't mean that you can't use chilies. Thank you so much for letting me come into your home and share these recipes with you. I hope that you enjoy all of them. I really get a lot of inspiration when I smell wine. For me, that's the biggest part, is how it smells, because when I cook a lot with how things are smelling. So that's the way I can kind of like make sure that the short ribs are gonna go with the wine, is I go back and I smell the wine, and then I smell them as they're cooking. And when the flavors just kind of meld together in your nose and in your house, it really makes for a beautiful night.